Hello and welcome to round 3 of the Magic Online Community Cup. I'm Brian Dave Marshall. I'm joined by Randy Bueller, and we are watching Aaron Forsyth on your left, playing against Björn Andreasson on your right. There you get a look at the dapper and dashing Aaron Forsyth, 2000 World's Team Champion, 2 Pro Tour top 8s, and uses powdered black lotuses instead of salt. And then you get a look at Björn Andreasson. He's the founder of SvenskaMagic.com, does MTGquiz.com, and he taught us how to play Danish Magic last night.
Oh, Danish Magic. That's what that format was talking about?
Yeah, that was an interesting format.
Yeah, no, it was basically you shuffle up a booster pack, and then every card that you draw off the top of it, assume you have infinite mana, and then every card you draw you must play in every way that's legal to play.
Right. As soon as you can play it.
Interesting format. Okay, these guys are... Looks like Aaron won the die roll. I'm guessing he's going to play first.
And there we go.
Oh, fiddling with his stops, of course.
There you get a look at the hand. So blue-red, you see just taking Beetleborn Chiefs away from the
interesting
from the Goblin players.
Yeah, he's
Prophetic Bolt.
It's pretty much a value deck, right?
Yeah,
2-for-1s and card advantage and kill stuff and stay alive to do expensive things, I guess. Yeah. Aaron certainly wants to beat down.
Do you lead with Mesmeric Fiend or Fallen Ascari or him?
Wow.
You have to him, right? Like you just want to
no
the random discard. You don't want to just like.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Screw with your opponent. He got a land.
Sure.
He got his only other land. He just sunk.
Wow.
Oh,
planes off the top. He's 3-color. And somehow has all 3 of his colors with those 2 lands.
So Mesmeric Fiend maybe this turn. Baron's past plays. He's going to see that his Mesmeric Fiend is
not going to live long.
But,
yeah,
but it's going to get. But it's going to get a burn spell one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. You aren't thinking about cycling Kenai as a response? Nah, don't give him any better choices.
Yeah, no.
Aaron will take, I would think, the cheaper burn spell, force Bjorn to spend 2 mana to get back his Chain Lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, but Kindle's an instant, and he can do it right now, so maybe you take the Kindle, that way Bjorn has to spend mana next turn on the Chain Lightning. That probably is better. Yeah, the Kindle mana is essentially free here.
Of course, because Kindle's an instant, there's also always the possibility that Bjorn could him himself here. And Kindle the Mesmeric Fiend in response to its go into play trigger.
I don't think that was going to happen.
Yeah, well, I've seen it happen in this format.
All right, now Bjorn cycles Kenai.
Okay, he's going to play the Owl Familiar.
I'll get back Kindle later.
Yeah, no rush.
Discards Deep Analysis to the Owl Familiar's ability. Get that back later, too. Here's a pair of Fallen Ascaris.
This card was a signature card in that draft block in the Mirage Vision.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as 1990s era Magic goes, that guy beats down.
Yeah. He taught people how to beat down.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Absolutely, yeah.
This was not a common strategy in Limited.
Yeah.
Aaron's holding Paralyze and Urnham Jin.
Yeah, Bjorn's still pinched on mana here. He went for the Aquamoeba instead of flashing back Deep Analysis. His Deep Analysis would have been kind of painful there.
Yeah.
It's tricky, though, because he kind of wants to draw land. He wants to be able to get to Beetleback Chief. He wants to be able to do 2 things on a turn.
Oh, boy.
Jeez.
There's a hit. Oh, and he gets both Chain Lightnings.
Crazy.
He gets both Chain Lightnings. Oh, my God. Paralyze your Aquamoeba and bash the heck out of you here.
Wow. Hey, Forsyth, reminding people how to beat down.
Oh, my gosh. Like, that is, Bjorn's just muttering the word justice and no over and over and over again, not necessarily in that sequence.
Yeah, the desperation flashback even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't imagine this working out.
Right, plays the Lonely Sandbar.
This is kind of how you thought it might go, right? The black aggro deck comes out and just beats up the sort of slower, more controllish deck. Doesn't have time to even get to Prophetic Bolt.
And then just perfectly
right on schedule.
Time. Yeah. Yeah, Bjorn has to just get flanked to death here.
Yeah.
It's the detailed description of flanking on the card for people.
Blocking hurts.
Yeah, it is just brutal. And this was a card. Fallen Scar is a card. It took people a while to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean it can't block. People weren't in the habit of 2/2s for 2, thinking of 2/2s for 2 as good creatures. Everybody thought of 4/5s for 4 as good creatures.
Right.
7 life. Does Bjorn even have a play to live a turn? I guess Beetleback lives a turn.
Beetleback lives a turn, but he's going to take 1.
Yeah. He just keeps smashing, right? Both the Ascaris and the Djinn. Everybody can get in there.
Yeah, I definitely like the Urnum Djinn paralyzed combo. Of give your paralyzed creature Forest Walk. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, there's no bad attack here.
Attacking with Mesmeric.
Well, I mean, obviously, Mesmeric Fiend never attacks. It is very rare.
Yeah.
So just throw 2 guys. I mean, throw 2 guys in the Grumper.
Right. And now he'll turn on Prophetic Bolt, but it doesn't even kill Urnum Djinn. Doesn't seem good enough. Oh, by the way, how about a lethal shadow creature?
Yeah, Douthly Mercenary comes down. What I also think is really interesting, a lot of the cards in Aaron's deck are just like the dregs of some of the draft.
Oh, Goblin Trenches. That's what the Plains is for.
Oh, wow. I don't think that's enough.
No.
But
no, I don't even think you show any cards here.
Yeah.
No reason to let him know to play around Prophetic Bolt next game. Yeah, the black creatures, they're kind of trashy. Like, I like a good trashy beatdown deck from time to time. I mean, sometimes you're just like Carnophages and Fallen Ascaris. Doughty Mercenary can hit hard.
Fledgling Djinn?
Yeah. It's just a nice trashy aggro deck. Nothing wrong with the trashy aggro deck. The name to Torok's, Name to Torok is insanely powerful in this format. I mean, I guess it's insanely powerful in every format where it's legal.
Do you know which Hymn to Torak is always the most powerful?
The second one.
Yes. You do know.
I played with the card a bit.
The third one is sometimes just
it's like a 1-for-1 trade. I feel like I just necroed up a full hand anyway. I may as well trade 2 mana for your last card.
But that second one is just brutal.
Especially when you hit both the Chain Lightnings.
Yo, that was how different is that game?
Right.
How different is that game if he hits Prophetic Bolt Beetleback Chief? Like, my uncastables? You see them going into their sideboard.
Yeah, pretty quick game. No match results. Look at the game ones though. WotC's up 3-1 on game ones.
Okay.
And that doesn't count Aaron, so now they're actually up 4-1.
Ooh.
Could be another lopsided round.
My Facebook notification just went off and said Aaron Forsyth posted something to Facebook. When did he do that? Just said he updated his status.
Just now, it said watch me battle. I'm actually watching Aaron's computer on my laptop. He was done sideboarding. He went to Facebook to say watch me battle right now on Twitch.
And you know Aaron's serious when he turns the baseball cap around. Actually, that's actually medium.
That is not a serious drink. That's
not a serious drink at all.
Some
No,
giant milkshake? Is that what's going on?
And by the way, when Randy says it's not a serious drink, you know. All right. Whoa, and look at that. There's a skull clamp for Bjorn. Skull clamp, wow.
Look at Aaron's draw. What kind of griefer shenanigans? Is he going to go Black Lotus Choking Sands? Like, I can't. I'm sure that play's never happened in the history of Magic, but it might be the play here. Black Lotus for Choking Sands.
By the way, people in the room are chanting, "Do it, do it, do it here."
And you follow up with a turn to him. Black Lotus Choking Sands? Is that
yes? Yes!
I have to admit, I've never spent Black Lotus Mana on Choking Sands before.
And by Aaron's gleeful demeanor, neither has he.
Yeah, every time you Choking Sands, it's like you're rolling a d6 and just hoping to color screw your opponent. And you know what? Aaron rolled the right number.
Right. And it doesn't
hit the trenches in the Beetlebag Chief.
Yeah. Oh, better,
Look at
better
Bjorn
him
just
for
shaking
Bjorn
his head. All right, well, here's more red mana. Back in the game. Not that he can cast his Mystic Zealot.
Right, his first two creatures are just, you know.
Aaron is going to have to draw a creature eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, having no offense, like any kind of Fallen Ascari to be hitting. You know, he disrupted Bjorn. He took him off a color. He's about to miss a land drop, but Aaron's not actually doing anything to win the game.
Right.
So this game's not nearly as lopsided as... Okay, Fledgling Gen, yeah, that would have been better a couple turns ago, but it's a start.
So Aaron, is Bjorn going to just skull clamp that Skywing Haven and just try to draw himself out of this?
Interesting. Well, first he's going to get in for 2. Then we'll decide. I mean, he's ahead on the board. The Skywing Haven's doing decent work attacking. Right. I don't know. Yeah, 2 cards. It's hard to pass up a 2-for-1. They're both islands, though.
Yeah. Take a look.
Dark Action.
I'm sure everyone is... I kind of like this art for Skull Clamp better than the original art.
It's pretty good.
Is that heretical to say?
I'll allow it.
Is that a Dark Hatchling up there?
It is. He's going to wait for a target. He could have just run it out there as a 3/3 flyer. I mean, the fact that Skull Clamp exists. Okay. Yeah, he's going to respond to the Skull Clamp activation by casting Expunge. Does not want to allow Bjorn to get 2 cards.
Right. Even though it would be 2 for 2. Because he would have to discard a card to flip the Aquamoeba around.
Oh, sure. Aaron continues to hold the hatchling.
Oh, that's an exciting, kind of exciting draw. Prophetic Bolt.
You just say go.
Yeah. Although,
I mean, I might, if Aaron does nothing, I might just end step, hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Go dig for something to attack with.
And that's what he's going to do.
Comes up with deep analysis. Somehow Prophetic Bolt, he looked at 4 and chose to keep 4 cards. I don't know how that works, but...
Huh? This is pretty good. Flashback deep analysis here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Could certainly use a plains.
And he's crawled out, so cycle.
Yeah, he's just up so many cards now. I mean, Aaron disrupted him, but I mean that's the way these disruption deck works. If you're gonna choking sands, you need to actually win the game before they have time to just draw land.
I've seen more Elvish Aberrations cast in these 3 rounds than cycled.
Funny. Oh man, how good is Cloud of Fairies? Cloud of Fairies with Skull Clamp. Just like 1 mana, draw 2 cards.
Yep, and that's exactly what he's going to go for here. Just fills his hand. There's his white mana source. Eventually.
Eventually, yeah, next turn. I'll run out of Skywing Haven.
Or do you repel? Do you repel the Elvish Aberration?
6 mana. He can't repel and Circular Logic. I think I would run out of Skywing Haven and leave up Circular Logic. I guess this way he gets to either Circular Logic or repel.
Right.
Yeah, which may have worked out better.
Wow. So many cards. Like, I don't know. His hand was, like, practically stripped bare.
I remember Skull Clamp.
Yeah.
Skull Clamp even more broken than him to Turok, it turns out.
Yeah. And then you get a look at Mystic Zealot, which is now
also
a 4/4 flyer with, you know,
yeah,
upside.
3/5, but wearing a Skull Clamp.
Like, I kind of actually hope you kill it.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Hatchling, he kind of has to, but... Yeah, Aaron's not winning this game from here. Recast the Aberration. That's going to get Circular Logic. Yep.
They're going to paralyze the...
I guess.
Yeah. Whatever.
I mean, Bjorn...
Yeah, but just pay.
Just pay for it.
Just pay.
Exactly.
Oh, does he not have his upkeep stop?
What do you mean?
Oh,
I mean,
it taps on your upkeep. Yeah. There are only 11 cards left in Bjorn's library.
He's just drawn them all. I mean, I guess one Floodplain's thinned, but he's up 10 cards.
Yeah.
So I guess stacking Black Lotus for Choking Sands is not going to become a
not
new hotness.
Not going to become a thing.
I think it was correct with that draw, but you certainly would prefer to have more permanent things to do with your Black Lotus.
So, Fallen Ascari still can't block. Dark Hatchling is going to take out the Mystic Zealot. Does not feel very good about it.
Yeah. I mean, Bjorn can't have that many things left in his deck.
By the way,
eventually
Skull Clamp is must.
Yeah.
That is not a may.
Hatchling holds off Avon.
Oh, well.
I don't think Aaron can deck him here, but I mean, that is the kind of thing he has to start thinking about. Alright, Chain takes out Hatchling. Now the Avon can get over, but it's going to take 5 turns to win. Serendib will add to the clock.
Right. So Aaron... I mean, Bjorn's at 13.
Mm-hmm. Sakari, because the Ifrit's wearing Skull Clamp, Sakari can actually attack into it. I'm not sure equipping with Skull Clamp was correct there. Oh, exile. Okay, he just planned to exile it anyway.
Yeah. We're going to see a game 3 here.
Yeah, Aaron has seen enough. On to game 3.
How much sideboarding do you think these guys are going to do
I mean, Aaron's looking at it. He lingered over... I think he put in Desert Twister. He did. He put Desert Twister into his deck. That'll kill a Skull Clamp.
I mean, Lotus Desert Twister kills the Skull Clamp on turn 3.
Yeah, Aaron just drew a bunch of mana that game and just had no offense at the point where he was at. He had Bjorn on his back foot. Bjorn was able to just draw everything he needed.
Right.
Kind of the hallmark of a Forsyth deck, right?
Oh, yeah.
Living off the top, hoping to draw the right mix of mana and threats and explosive stuff. It's how he likes to play the game. And he's had a lot of success with it.
Yeah, and we're underway here already. Yeah, these guys are thinking about their opening hands.
Wow, 5 land and 2 burn spells for Bjorn.
Turn 1 Urnum Djinn for
what?
For Scythe.
Okay, that's a much better use of Black Lotus. And yeah, Bjorn can kill it on turn 3 if he uses both his burn spells. Jeez. No second land for Aaron. I mean, he's all in on the Urnimjin.
Yeah.
I guess as soon as he draws a land, he can land cycle the Aberration. But whatever. Yeah, you just play turn 1 Urnimjin. Now this is 90-0 Magic. Now
right.
we're back in 1996.
What do you got? Do you
Turn
have
1 Urnimjin. It's not quite a Juzamjin. I think
Yeah.
that would be the
Yeah.
true sort of 1994,
Yes, absolutely.
1995 play.
Well, this was the budget version that people played.
There
when
you go.
You
Sure,
know,
sure.
while they waited to get their fourth set of their fourth Juzamjin. All right. Would you have considered leading Island there to be able to cycle the sandbar?
Maybe. I mean,
Because you can still go mountain
maybe.
over the next 2 turns.
Right. Still not going to get to cycle it. He wants to go floodplain?
That's what he's thinking about right now. He goes with the Island.
Aaron
instead.
did not play a land. Is not
No.
going to play a land on turn
No.
2. Did not play a land on turn 2.
Did not. Won't. Okay, so this is actually kind of insane. Bjorn's going to actually be able to on turn 3
Kill
deal
it.
with a turn 1 Urnimjin.
Does Aaron go Sarcomancy, or would he rather land cycle?
No, I mean, it's
Sarcomancy.
Aaron. I mean, how long have you known Aaron? What did you really think he was going to do there?
Turns out he's going to count on the top of his deck. Yep. It's a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah.
Not unfair. Aaron's up 8 damage.
Yeah.
But now he's down a little bit of tempo. Only a little bit.
He's got a Chainer's Edict.
Now you just land cycle
Yeah,
and play
yeah.
a land, right?
Right, and as long as Bjorn doesn't do anything, he can even
Like the forest cycle to get to Bayou. It's always good times.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Feels so good
That
in this
is-
format when you get to do that.
That is a thing of beauty.
Forest cycling does not say basic forest.
Well, yeah, I couldn't. I didn't see the text. No text box there. I'm like, what is that? That's weird. Boy, does Aaron want a him here.
Oh my.
Is he gonna just cycle? Yeah. Just gonna cycle the Crows and Tusker. Figure out how he wants to stack that. Gets the swamp and draws him.
It's not in time to knock the prophetic
No.
bolt out, though.
And Aaron's close to being able to cast that Urborg Uprising.
Yeah, he's got a giant grip of cards at this point, too. Yeah, he gets to go Chainer's Edict here, get whatever. He also gets to cast as him.
Or is he going to... Oh, he is going to cast him, okay.
Yeah.
But you can't... Well, I guess...
You prophetic bolt his response. He's got a decent chance of losing the card, but still, you'd rather...
Right. Kill the creature.
Kill the creature, exactly. You'd rather kill the creature and lose the card than not kill the creature. Especially when you're killing a Sarcomancy token. So, does the him does hit the spell that he got. Hit the Killer Whale.
There's an exile. It's been a surprisingly more robust game than I was expecting on turn 1 and
Right.
then on turn 3.
Right.
On each
Yeah,
side.
Aaron had the turn 1 Urnimjin. Bjorn had the answer, and Aaron was stuck on one land for multiple turns, but Bjorn, all he was doing was spending his cards answering that turn 1 Urnimjin,
Right.
so Aaron had time to draw in a land, and here you go again.
Alright, Serendib Free We know
Wow,
that's
Bjorn
going to
is-
die any number of ways.
Still, though, Bjorn's drawn spell here. It's funny. See, tapping the Carnophage means no damage from either the Carnophage or the Sarcomancy. But Fledgling Djinn is still going to sting. Yeah, this has got to be Expunge, Serendib, Crunch with Fledgling Djinn, right?
Yes.
Isn't he mana short?
I thought he was a mana short. Maybe he's thinking it's the other one. The
Night Stalker?
Yeah, the Night Stalker. Instead, it just says, okay, not going to waste any time waiting for you to take damage or do anything.
Probably wants to clear a path for a Fledgling Djinn to attack. Okay, he chose to pay a life to Carnophage so that he could leave it on defense and not take 3 from Aquamoeba.
Force field.
Yeah. Basically paid a life to not get hit by Aquamoeba.
Right.
And meanwhile, Bjorn's last card was an exile, so Bjorn's out of cards. Jeez.
Oh, wow!
He's thrown spell since that hymn, and they've all been relevant spells, too. Aaron's like, you drew a spell! Pretty good one.
But if Aaron draws a land here, he's still very much...
Right, and he can even Orbrok Uprising for value without if he doesn't draw a land.
Right.
I think he'd rather draw a land. Wow, second 6-drop. 2 6-drops in hand to Orbrok Uprising.
Targeting the Crozen Tusker or probably Elvish Aberration.
Oh, you're going to get a Land Cycler, not an Ernum Djinn?
And
did he just go Land Cycler? Yeah, Tusker and the Aberration. And then the cantrip card was Simian Grunts. Carnophage just told off the team. She does an okay job of. Jeez.
Oh my gosh!
Skull Clamp. His deck loves him. Jeez. Look at Aaron just kind of shaking his head.
Yeah.
Aaron thought he had this game, and so did I.
Yeah. Oh, and then a counterspell and a Mystic Zealot.
What on earth? So that's like 6 spells in a row, or is it 7?
I think it's all the spells in a row.
Crazy.
Now, sitting on counterspell. There's the land Aaron wants.
Yeah, but
So what's he going to try out? He's going to go for the Dark Hatchling here. That is going to get countered immediately. Aaron is...
Yeah.
Oh, no, and now a Repel.
Aaron is sad.
Bjorn just like,
Crazy.
Oh!
Remember when he had 6 land in an empty hand?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And he's just sitting on Circular Logic.
Yeah, you can discard the Circular Logic of the Aquamoeba and
Yeah.
counter anything Aaron does. Aaron does have a grip full of cards.
Right? But Repel, Circular Logic, and Solar Blast
Yeah.
is a toolbox for any possible emergency.
Yes. God, Skull Clamp. This is a Skull Clamp game.
Yeah.
This is really just a Skull Clamp game. See why that card is banned, banned, and then restricted in Vintage.
Oh, well. Suddenly a Hymn to Torah. I mean... Dark's not quite gonna do it. I mean, he can... Another land.
Aaron left up Simian Grunts, basically.
Right.
Which might bait the Circular Logic? Clearing a path for the hymn?
Okay.
I mean, this plays clearly
Yes.
Grunts here.
Grunts are gonna. I think the grunts are just gonna get repelled.
Ugh. I think you're right. You look at the discard circular logic. I like your line though. Let it resolve and then repel it. That seems better to me.
Because honestly,
this play does have the advantage of getting into extra damage with Aquamoeba though.
Sure.
And Aaron sighs and sees the game slipping away.
So Aaron, oh yeah, he's at 4. That's gonna be.
Yeah, can't pay for Carnophage. Oh, Aquatis is champion. It's not nothing. He'll strangle some life, get him up above 4.
But we know that's going to get repelled here. And then that should be the ball game.
If he could have snuck into him first, one more land, get him follow up.
Yeah, well, he definitely... He was
Wow.
definitely rooting for an 8th land there. Wow, that was an insane game.
That was an insane game. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Cool one to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Aaron had it, and then I thought Bjorn was okay, and then I was convinced Aaron had it, and then it was a total blowout for Bjorn.
And then Skull Clamp.
Right, and then Skull Clamp happened. Crazy. See the round starting to filter out.
Yeah, it sounds like we have a red zone match. Marshall's has a spicy one lined up for us. Marshall, why don't you tell us what's going on?
Thank you, BDM. I am in the red zone. We can go down to the beginnings of a match between Paul Cheon and Dave Humphreys right now. They're in the starts of Game 2, so why don't we head down to that right now, and I'll fill you in on what's going on, because trust me, we'll have a little time. This is the beginnings of Game 2. We just watched a whole match in our main match. In Game 1, Dave Humphreys, well, he doesn't play super fast. You can see the clocks are 12 minutes to about 8 minutes for Dave, but he's been, trucking along pretty nicely. The situation was this. Paul Cheon got himself in a situation where he had future sight out, and this was in a board state where neither player had any creatures. So things are looking pretty good for Paul. He rips through his entire deck. Dave Humphreys has something like 6 or 7 cards left, and Paul gets all the way down to the last one, so it looks like the game's going to end. Humphreys sitting on 45 life, and Cheon has no realistic way to pressure that life total. Then Paul reveals his big plan, which is he's got a Scrivener and he's got a Repel. And so he starts going to repel his Scrivener and just keep cycling it over so that he can then deck Dave Humphreys. But Dave has Kindle to kill the Scrivener, break up the combo, as it were, and finish the game by decking Paul Cheon. So what we're going to see here is an interesting reaction. So Lightning Rift was the key card for Dave Humphreys. Paul was able to keep the Astral Slide off the table for Dave, but the Lightning Rift stuck, and Dave was able to really leverage it to just kill every single creature that Paul Cheon made. So I'm curious to see how Paul reacts. He knows what he's up against here, and he might have sideboarded pretty significantly. All right, Flowstone Hellion's going to get Circular Logicked here, and Mystic Zealot is creeping steadily upwards towards being at Threshold. So, and there's another one. That might even... Nope, one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one more card in the yard, and Zealot is going to be big. Yes, the clocks are relevant. Right now, Humphreys is a little bit less than 7 minutes. And, okay, here's Cheon, by the way, countering a Thopter Squadron and getting that Mystic Zealot up in the air and a little bit bigger. But the clocks could be very relevant. Dave Humphreys is up a game, so if he wins this game, no problem. But if he finds himself significantly behind, he might have to concede this game and go to the third game just to try to pick up a victory. Alright, so Deathblade Elite and Taros Faithful battling in valiantly. Unfortunately, it's only 2 damage that Humphreys is representing here, so he's got a long way to go. And he doesn't even win the race against the Mystic Zealot. Plus whatever else Cheon has off the top of his deck right now, he's sitting on 0 cards in hand. So 2 cards for Humphreys. And can Cheon even the score here? If Cheon is able to win this game, given what we've seen, he's going to be in a really good position to win the match, because Humphreys is going to have a really tough time killing Cheon in, call it 3 minutes or something. Let's say that Cheon wins this game in the next couple of minutes. So this is going to be an interesting sort of metagame play here. Since we're on Magic Online, the clock rules, and Humphreys is going to have to make a decision here about whether he feels like he has an avenue to actually just outright win this game or not. And this is going to help, sort of. He just Solar Blasted. He basically just took the 2-for-1 to even the score, leave himself with 2 power up against a top-decking opponent. So here we go. Who can draw stuff? During the upkeep, Bad River's going to get sacked just to thin one more dead draw out of the deck there for Paul Cheon. He draws his card for the turn. Doesn't have anything powerful to add to the board and chips the turn back. So an 8-turn clock is what Humphreys is able to come up with here, though he does have a fresh card drawn off the top. Doesn't play anything, though, to add to the clock, and passes the turn back to Cheon. Cheon needs to stabilize here. An Ophidian's an interesting one here. That is going to stem the bleeding, as there's no way that Humphreys is going to let Paul hit him with the Ophidian. So, boom, right there. All of a sudden, Dave Humphreys isn't attacking. Now, under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be a huge deal for Humphreys, but it is here because his clock is tick-tocking. You can see it's approaching the 5-minute mark here. Cheon's at a pretty safe 10 minutes plus with his control deck. And it looks like Dave Humphreys is going to start cycling cards trying to dig. He doesn't have either of his 2 big cyclers on the table with Astral Slide or Lightning Rift, but he doesn't care. He needs to find pressure. He needs to get that 14 down to a 0, and he needs to do it quickly. There's going to come a point on the clock. Ooh, Plea for Power now for Paul Cheon. What does Humphreys give him? He might just give him the turn here. I think you just let him take a turn. It's 1 card. He's not doing anything with the turn anyway. No, it's draw cards. Right, so, okay, right. So he actually doesn't get to make that decision. Thank you. Because if it's tied, then it's draw the cards. And that's exactly what happened here. I forgot about that. So take a look at Plea for Power. More stuff hitting the graveyard here, but you can see down at the bottom. If Knowledge gets more votes or the vote is tied, draw 3 cards. So huge draw there. And it looks like Cheon's able to just sort of empty the Cheons, as it were, and get a Kenai even. This is not going well for Humphreys. I think that he's going to hit the decision point here pretty quickly, where he's going to need to make a big call like that. Another Taros Faithful is not what the doctor ordered here. This is all about the clock. Make no mistake about it. And Humphreys dealing 14 damage here looks pretty unlikely given the board state. He might have to concede this game and try to clean up on the next one. There will be a point on his clock where he has to make that decision. Here's another Chainer's Edict coming out of the graveyard there for Paul Cheon. And Cheon's just going to keep chipping away at the life total. But at this point, I think Cheon's pretty happy to just sit here and stare down Dave Humphreys as he's watching that clock slowly tick down. You see it's turned that ominous yellowish color there. We're in the warning stages here for Dave Humphreys. When it turns red, he's in big trouble. Flashback the Chainer's Edict here. And it looks like Cheon's just going to play this straight up and just keep fighting here, though. I have seen people stop attacking and kind of force their opponent to make a decision. But I guess when you have your opponent on 29 life, you can keep doing it. Yeah, Humphreys just plays a land for the turn. I think it's time for Humphreys to scoop this one up and try to win a game in 4 minutes. Unless he's got some cards I don't know about that can do 14 damage. I mean, there are ways that you can do big chunks of damage here, but he's falling behind on both card economy and life total here pretty soon. 5 damage a turn from Cheon plus an extra card, or I should say 4 damage a turn plus an extra card. And there's deep analysis. So Cheon's got 3 cards in hand. Interestingly, 8 cards in his library. So that could be plan A. And deep analysis puts him down to 5 cards. Wow. So Cheon very aggressive here. He's got 4 cards in his hand. And here he goes. Is this going to be... It's a Scrivener. All right, so Scrivener resolves. And the beatdowns continue here. 4 minutes on the clock now for Dave Humphries. 5 cards in hand, 5 cards in library for Paul Cheon, who's just under the 8-minute mark and looking pretty good on time. Is he going to draw a card here? Yeah. He does not. All right, so the damage keeps flowing. He knows that he does not want to get decked here. But what does Humphries have? He's tapping mana. He's got a Spark Spray that's just going to cycle. Lonely Sandbar for Cheon. Back down to his original starting life total is Dave Humphries. After taking all these beats, he's finally back down to 20. All right, and that was it. So it looks like the 3.5-minute mark was what Dave Humphries was kind of looking at for, well, am I going to win this? Because you can see that he had a few more draw steps in him there, but not going to do it. So we're going to get a game 3 here, and it is going to be a furious game 3. I would not be surprised at all to see Dave Humphries sideboard into the most aggressive cards that he has. Obviously, his deck wasn't built with aggression in mind. He's playing Taro's Faithful. He's trying to kind of get a bunch of value off of the cycling abuse cards, but he is going to need to turn up the heat here and try to run over Paul Cheon if he's going to do this, because if you're casting Taro's Faithfuls, you are very unlikely to win the game in under 3.5 minutes. That is just not a way to do that. Those are designed to make the game go longer, and he can't afford to have that happen. So once they're back in there, we will be back down to bring you the 3rd game here and see if the community team can pull back ahead. 2
matches left in this round, so you can see everybody's kind of gathered around the last couple of monitors. Frank Lepore looking over Paul Cheon. The match score this round, by the way, Wizards is up 4-2. So 4 wins for the Wizards team, 2 wins for community with 2 matches outstanding right now.
Right. Helene and Tom Ross are still playing.
Yes.
And
Paul and Dave.
Helene and Tom Ross does not seem like a match and should still be playing, but
I haven't seen a result. Yeah, they're gathered around Helene in the back, right?
Oh, maybe that's why that match should still be playing.
Right. I mean, you get enough cooks in the kitchen, you get enough sort of kibitzers. Any match can take forever.
Does it need salt? No, maybe soy. I don't know.
They can't have a lot of time left on their clocks either.
No.
I mean, Paul and Dave only have about 11 minutes between the 2 of them. So
Looks like the guys are huddled around Dave Humphries over there trying to get that sideboard situation figured out.
Yeah, Helene's got a similar issue to Dave in that she's running out of clock time. Looks like she's got about 5 minutes left on her clock, and she's in a winning position, but I'm pretty sure that's game 2. She lost the first game, so she may send it to a game 3 that she has to try to win quickly.
Yeah. She is going to actually send it to a game 3.
Oh, yeah. Tom's down to 2, and Sulfuric Vortex is in play.
And her deck can win very quickly, though.
Yeah, no, she's got 455 as the Sulfuric Vortex resolves, so 453 on her clock to win game 3 that she just forced. So 2 games going into game 3 where we said WotC might be a little rusty, right? The rust may also apply to Magic Online clock management here. Both Dave and Helene are on the back foot from a clock management point of view. But WotC's up 4-2, so worst case scenario, they split the round and they go into the lunch break with a 2-match lead.
Right.
Best case scenario, they 6-2 the round and are sitting pretty over lunch.
All right, so we're back at the feature match area, and this is very much a question of clock here.
Is this aggro for Dave Humphries?
Yeah, this is
that aggro for Dave Humphries?
Cycle
renewed faith
yes.
on turn 2?
He's going to have to come up with something. I saw Aaron Forsythe helping him sideboard over there. There's a lightning rift that can put a dent in a life total, but wouldn't
a lot
call
of clicks.
That is an awful lot of clicks.
It's a lot of clicks. Yeah, we're working with click economy now.
Yeah.
So Cheon.
10-turn clock, 3-turn timer.
Also have to remember that Cheon has Death Grasp in his deck as well, which can offset, a lot of the just help him stay alive longer, which is going to be his whole goal here.
Daylight savings time, as he calls it here.
Wow, rescind. Bounce your Lightning Rift.
Yeah, so he's just going to send the turn back and represent a counterspell. No, he's going to play Deep Analysis here. So he's just playing the clock game here. He's just like, look, I'll slow you down.
He's opening up a trade window right now.
There's Lightning Rift back on the table. Under 2.5 minutes now for Dave Humphries. He has got to come up with some pressure or he is going to lose to the clock. That incredibly drawn-out Game 1.
Yeah, there are some tricks you can do when your clock starts running low. The function keys are going to be particularly useful here. I mean, most people know to use F2 rather than having to bother taking the mouse all the way over to the OK button. But, F6 is useful if you just want to say, hey, I'm done for now. And then, was it F8 is
F8,
the one that just always...
You can do F4 as well. Yeah, so F8 will...
Yeah, F8 is the one that's the best at clock management, right? It basically says, if you push the F8 key, for the rest of the game, if there's nothing that you could do, Magic Online's not going to bother asking you whether you want to do something.
Right.
It means you're no longer, bluffing the ability to potentially respond to a spell. But, I mean, most of the people who play a lot of Magic Online make heavy use of the F8 key. Sort of the first key they hit in a game, and then Magic Online doesn't bother even giving them the ability to do anything. Unless there's something they could do.
I'm a big F6er.
Yeah, I'm F2, F6. F8 always seems a little scary to me. Like I'm afraid I'm going to want to do something, but yeah, those function keys are definitely...
This is not the board of a match that's going to conclude in a time.
No, this is not looking good for Humphries. I think that Paul is going to be in a great position here to clock his opponent. And there's Deep Analysis coming from the graveyard being flashed back here and making sure that Cheon stays full on cards. In fact, I think he might be discarding here. No, he's got Swords to Plowshares to take down the Noble Templar and get in there for 3. He's left up an ominous blue as well. Cheon does have actual Counterspell in his deck. Here's Reckless Charge, which countering it doesn't seem that great here. He can just flash it back anyway. But you do take half of it away.
Watching the other match, by the way, on our computer, and Helen's got a shot to win in 5 minutes. She just resolved Sulfuric Vortex on turn 3.
Oh, that'll do it, yeah. You just got to find a few extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Ross has a Lightning Rift in play. Oh, and Tom Ross just summoned a Goblin War Chief.
Wow, check this out. Humphries all in here. Imperial Armor now. It's going to pump it up even in another couple. And he's got that Reckless Charge sitting over there as well. Whoa, here's 6 damage that Cheon probably wishes he would have countered that Deathblade Elite now. I think he thought, well, you can have your 1/1. Now he's taking 6 this turn.
I don't think he has Counterspell. He would have countered Imperial Armor, I think.
Yeah, maybe. It is only +2/+2.
For now.
So interesting spot now. Cheon looks like Aaron Forsythe found the most aggressive card sitting in Dave Humphries' sideboard. He's like, you're bringing in Reckless Charge.
Oh,
ooh,
no!
Chainer's Edict. Maybe that's why he didn't counter. And he's had about enough of that. He sees that Reckless Charge sitting over there in the yard, and Cheon's not attacking anymore. Here's Astral Slide and Lightning Rift.
Triggers.
And there's the counterspell that Cheon had to
Look
make
at the
sure
cards
that it
in hand
doesn't
here.
go.
Paul's on 7 cards in hand.
Yes.
Dave's 2.
Yes.
I mean, it sure looks to me like Cheon is going to win this game straight up.
Yep.
I mean, he's in fact going to win it on clock, but, I mean, we've seen his deck. He's got 6 mana. He's got double, triple, single color. He's got a 3/5 in play. I like Paul's chances to win this game from here.
Sure. I mean, it's tough to say because they clearly compromised Dave Humphries' build. I mean, it's now playing Reckless Charge, and it's a Taro's Faithful deck with Astral Slide.
I guess that's fair.
But still, I agree. Like, just on a straight-up fight here, Cheon's way ahead.
Is Reckless Charging a Taro's Faithful?
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, you should get extra Planeswalker points or something for that.
Helen Bergeau, meanwhile, still only has Sulfuric Vortex, and Tom Ross has added a Goblin Patrol to his Goblin War Chief.
Yeah.
So Tom is actually going to outrace his opponent's Sulfuric Vortex, it looks like.
He's really punishing her on the Vortex.
Yeah, he's had a couple removal spells, right? He's gone through a Chain Lightning.
Well, he's got a Lightning Rift in play.
Lightning Rift with 2-cycle lands, so he's been able to keep LN's creatures off the board, and his own are going to outrace that Vortex.
Meanwhile, Cheon just played Scrivener to get back Swords to Plowshares, which he decided he would attack now with his Killer Whale.
Yeah, well, the Plains untapped and a Plow in hand.
Yes, decided the way was clear just enough.
So with these two matches coming down to the end of it, Community Team looking to put up a 4-4 round. Okay. So there'll be...
so if Paul wins this...
If Paul wins this, which seems extremely likely, and if Tom wins, which seems about to happen in about 3 seconds, that makes a 4-4 round, and that'll mean Wizards will go into the lunch break with a lead, but it's only 39-33.
Yeah.
2 matches.
A much narrower lead than it looked like we would get off to
when they
that
6-2'd that first round?
Yeah. All right, Tom Ross wins here. So.
All right, so Tom Ross wins that, and... Jeez, Paul Cheon just laying it on. His opponent had to play Reckless Charge on the Benevolent Bodyguard, even though he knows he has Swords to Plowshares, and Cheon had another answer. In this case, it was Repel.
Yeah, and Dave Saxon's response because he doesn't want to draw Benevolent Bodyguard next turn. He'd rather just have it die.
Right. And Cheon keeps the beats flowing here. He might just beat him on damage.
Yeah.
Kindle, never mind, is going to put a crimp in that plan. All right, so we'll wind down this game.
Does Dave have like a Fireball in his deck?
I don't know. There's Carevex Torch available in the format.
Right.
I have not seen it from him. And we had him down to 4 or 5 cards in the first game, and he didn't show it. So
it would take 5 cycling cards with that Lightning Rift. That seems unlikely.
I mean, you can chain them together.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a Swords to Plowshares in Paul's hand. He can always Swords his own Killer Whale in a pinch.
All right, what does Humphreys have? He has Chartooth Cougar. Does he have another Reckless Charge? It doesn't matter. Circular Logic is going to counter it. And this is going to be a Death Grasp and exactly lethal damage. So doing it the good old-fashioned way. Paul Cheon wins the match, 2 games to 1 over Dave Humphreys.
All right, 4-4 that round. Community Team stabilized after an awful, awful round 1 start.
Bad matchups, right?
I don't know if that's how that works.
Right,
so we're going to have an interview?
Yeah, it sounds like we've got Aaron Campbell lined up in the Fern Zone.
Yep.
Ready for us to go with Nate Price. So let's send it down there.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back again to the Magic Online Community Cup. I again am Nate Price, and I'm here with Erin Campbell. How's it going, Erin?
Great. How are you?
Thank you. So this is the Community Cup. You were invited here because you are a paragon within the community. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your incredibly awesome podcast?
Okay, so I have a show called The Deck to Use. It's on GatheringMagic.com, and I've been described as the Barbara Walters of Magic. I've been described as the Terry Gross of Magic, the Oprah of Magic. I basically interview people. So I have people on my show, bloggers, pro players, podcasters, and I get to know them because I really feel like there's a lot of emphasis on people's decks and people's results, and we really don't know who they are. So I try to bring people on my show just to show them and show my listeners that we really are the same. You know, we all put our pants on one leg at a time, or when we wear pants, you know. But, you know, we're all just people, and that's really what it's about. And I love being able to you know, show different sides to people that you don't normally get to see.
So how does it feel to be on the other side of the microphone this time around?
It's refreshing because I don't have to come up with the questions. I don't have to do the work. I just show up and talk. So I could get used to this. Yeah.
So you got 8 fairly prestigious opponents on the Wizard side this time. Of the 8 people that you're playing against, who has been the person you've been the most excited to actually, you know, meet in person?
Aaron Forsyth. I mean, you know, Aaron versus Aaron. He beat me in such an eloquent way. I mean, I love rock decks and I love black decks, and that was a beautiful deck. I couldn't be mad about that. And again, he's Aaron Forsyth. You know, who gets to say they lost to Aaron Forsyth? So that's big.
So the deck tease, you've recently had your 100th episode. Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
So you were telling me a little story earlier about how you got this incredible congratulatory message from a very, very famous Magic player. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so I woke up one morning and I had a message on Skype from Kai Buddha. Love Kai, come on. And Kai was like, congratulations on your 100th episode. And I'm like, Kai Buddha, like, you talking to me? Like, what's going on? And normally when Kai Buddha sends me messages, it's in German and they're about soccer games and they're not meant for me. So the fact that the message was actually for me was very flattering. And then we just had a really lovely talk about ourselves and our grooming habits and our commutes to work. And we just had a really lovely talk. And it was just amazing that Kai Buddha would reach out to me and say that. That was huge.
Well, like I said, do good work. People kind of follow you, then you've been doing a great job thus far. You present people a lot of cool, interesting things. You're right. Like, there are a lot of very famous Magic players and famous personalities within the game that we know from the game, but we don't know who they are beyond that. So thanks for giving everybody an outlet.
Thank you. I'm just glad to be here, and I'm just soaking it all up. You know, it's a huge opportunity, and you got to have fun while you're here. Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and who gets to say that they get to do this? So I'm just living it up.
Well, we're starting our lunch break right now, so I don't want to leave you here when everybody else is out there getting all the choice cuts. So, well, I'll let you head on out. Thanks again for dropping by, and we'll get back to you guys here a little bit later on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Aaron. Randy Bueller here at Brian David Marshall.